I'm your host, Kerrigan. From the Newsroom is your weekly news update brought to you by the Southeast Arrow. This week, Arrow reporter Abby Volz talked to Dr. Deborah Holzhauer about the war in Iran and the potential impacts on the United States. Here's Abby with more on this story.
On Saturday, February 28th, the United States and Israel launched an attack on Iran, killing the supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei. In response, Iran has been striking several U.S. Army bases in surrounding Middle Eastern countries, sparking days of back-and-forth attacks. Associate Professor of Political Science, Philosophy, and Religion, Dr. Deborah Holzhauer, said that this attack came from Iran being in a moment of weakness.
But what we've seen is that essentially Israel and the United States have decided to attack Iran. Iran was kind of in a moment of weakness, partly because of the 12-day war that occurred last summer. And in that, you had a bombing of Iran's nuclear sites and stuff like that.
Dr. Holzhauer believes that there would be an opportunity for the United States to benefit if there was a clear goal with the strike.
I think you could potentially, if you went in with a kind of a clear defined goal. And I don't think with the way when members of the administration have been questioned as to why they got involved, we're getting different answers. So it really does seem that there isn't a clear defined goal.
For the country of Iran, there are a number of scenarios that could play out. Iran could become more isolated like North Korea, or have a government that is strictly military-led. This case, Holzhauer believes, is different from the United States' intervention in Venezuela, which saw their government fall in line with the U.S. In recent talks, President Donald Trump has discussed the people of Iran rising up in the streets to take over their government. Holzhauer believes this is unlikely to happen.
The thought is that maybe we might have support at least Trump at one point. President Trump talked about maybe the people coming out to the streets and kind of taking power. That's highly unlikely. I mean, the recent protests, a lot of those opposition people were killed in those protests. And I think right now they're going to be kind of a little more leery of that, and the opposite. It's not clear that the opposition is a unified opposition, and that's part of the problem.
For the Southeast Arrow, I'm Abby Volz.
Thank you, Abby. Next, this week is spring break. With the break underway, here are tips from Arrow reporter Wyatt Sherwin.
For many students, spring break is one of the most anticipated times of the year. Whether you're traveling or staying home, a few simple tips can make the week more enjoyable. Booking traveling or lodging, or even planning activities can get rid of a lot of unneeded stress. Another important tip is setting a budget. Spring break can get expensive quick, so setting a budget ahead of time can help you keep your finances in check. Being financially responsible can be fun. Make a game out of budgeting your food, travel, lodging, and entertainment. I promise you won't regret it when you come home. Students should also remember to stay safe and aware, especially if they're traveling. Being with a group of friends and keeping track of personal belongings can ensure that nothing goes awry while you're away. Spring break is also a great time to recharge. After weeks of classes and assignments, taking time away to step back and de-stress can be very rejuvenating and beneficial for the latter half of the school year. With a little planning and balance, students can really enjoy their time off before returning to finish the semester. Reporting in Cape Girardeau, I'm Wyatt Sherwin.
Thank you, Wyatt. Lastly, the Arts Council of Southeast Missouri recently had both their executive and assistant director step away from their positions. I sat down with the now former executive director Kelly Downs and Arts Council board secretary member Tiffany Jonkowski to learn more about the direction of the Arts Council amidst this change. Amidst a time of change for the Arts Council of Southeast Missouri, now former Executive Director Kelly Downs discussed what her stepping away from her position may look like for the Arts Council.
I think that stepping away is meant to give the board the opportunity to make more of those decisions for themselves. Because I think as a creative leader, sometimes you get into the trap of leading too much all the time.
Downs talked about her experience in her leadership role and how that has allowed her to realize that leadership is when you truly empower, not when you're doing everything on your own.
And in the last year, I've really intentionally tried to change my leadership style, which was to say, leadership is not doing everything on your own. Leadership is when you truly empower, and that's been my goal the whole time, is to make sure that I'm putting people in positions where they are empowered. And so I think I need to step away for long enough that the group voice is allowed to take shape, and then I can come back and tune in again to the changes that have been made. But I think at this point, I need to see change happen in the first place before I feel safe to come back meaningfully.
Secretary of the Arts Council Board, Tiffany Jonkowski, said that the board's ultimate goal is to continue the path and trajectory that has been set in place and to strengthen and work as a board to make sure that they are living up to the goals and standards set in place. She also talked about the community's role in this change.
Keeping the relationship with the interns and our volunteers is crucial to that, because the more hands on deck, the more people understanding, the more people in the process, the more that, just workload and community work and outreach and everything gets distributed and happens a lot more effectively.
Downs and Jonkowski both agreed that the Arts Council needs to see more volunteerism within this change.
We can't afford to continue to do the work we love doing because there's not enough community investment, and that's the bottom line.
Don't be afraid to come in and see what you can do. I know it's a big gallery, it seems intimidating. I was intimidated when I first got brought in to volunteer, but any single person can walk in here and there's something in some way that they can contribute, because everyone has such a diverse set of skills that they all can be utilized to help keep supporting what we're doing and to help hold each other up. If the idea of volunteering somewhere like here or somewhere that seems like a professional setting like that, don't let anything stop you. Walk in the door, ask what you can do, because there is not a single person that I can imagine that would come in here and we couldn't be like, you have a skill set that would be fantastic. Mm-hmm. You can help support, you can make a difference, and it will be done in the most caring way to where we help you grow and you help us grow, and it's not an intimidating environment. It's
like finding out what people love, listening to what people love to do, and saying, I think that you would be an asset in this way.
For the Southeast Era, I'm Kerrigan Foster. This is all we have time for here today. Thank you for watching From the Newsroom. I'm your host, Kerrigan Foster, and see you next week, Cape Girardeau.